Bob, I went back and looked at the monthly reports for the 461st. And the only ones I found online were June and July of '53.
That's probably right. That's probably all there is.
I'm sure there is some document that was earlier than that.
But I don't think I have them either. I'm going to look.
No, I'm going to look in my files. But there was a section in there, roughly June 10th to the 14th.
Yeah.
And on the 10th, it talked particularly about the wires getting chopped up really bad by artillery.
Yep.
And I was sure you must have been there that night.
Yeah.
And what do you remember about that one?
What? I'm trying to think. That wasn't the cable deal, was it?
Yeah, it mentioned that
Okay.
everything was cabled, and he said
Well,
every unit was in a short distance.
For some reason, some idiot got the idea down in Corps or 8th Army or wherever that they wanted all the wires into a cable. Every unit out there, artillery, ours, and whoever else. So the first night, and so we had to go ahead and do it. And I think the first night, somebody knew that damn cable was there, I think, and they just blew that thing apart. Well, we went down there, and my gosh, I don't know how many guys were out there looking for their end of the wires and trying to put them together. And I told it was cable. I said, we're not going to go up for this bull crap. I said, we'll find an end from our end. And I said, you go up there, and the other batch says, go up and find there and see if you can find a wire on the other end, and we'll just splice those two wires together and forget it. We're not going to put it back in the cable. And I don't think any of the other guys put it back in the other. And from there on, we never did it.
Yeah, that was.
Well, that cable was,
Jeez.
That would
there was just wire all over the place.
Where's fiber optics when you need it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 3 or 4 nights later was the night that y'all were overrun, and that was quite a description in there. It talked about hundreds of rocks climbing into vehicles and milling around in the company position.
Oh yeah.
And it said you guys were out all the time that night.
We spent all night out.
And I guess you never knew, when you'd be out and you'd come back to a bunch of people speaking Chinese.
The trouble
It'd be nice
is,
now.
me and one of my men and a supply sergeant volunteered to go with us. And we were going up to the OP because one of the officers got wounded. And they said, when you get up there, because we didn't have any contact with him. Radio was out and everything else. And they said, well, if you can get him back, try to get him back here. And they sent another officer up there to take his place earlier. So there was 2 officers up there and 2 enlisted men. So they said, well, we'll take some supplies up, and at the same time, we're going to try to get the communications back in because those wires were all out. And the radios didn't work. So we're climbing this mountain to get to the OP, and all of a sudden, I'm telling you, rounds came in on us all over the place. I mean, we were trying to find a place to hide, and there was a lot of tree stumps there for some reason. And we got behind them as best we could. Luckily, nobody got hit. The sergeant said he got hit in the hand. He might have, I don't know. I don't know how we survived it, really. I don't know. And so we thought, well, when it quiets down, we'll go on up. Well, it never did quiet down, for one thing. And all of a sudden, we see these 2 guys coming down, and we thought, we didn't know who they were, and they didn't know who we were. But here we found out when they got closer, they were rock soldiers. And we said, hey, what's going on? We're going up there. But he didn't understand what the hell we were talking about. And he just motioned like this to come with him. And he took us over to I don't know why they were there, but there was a bunker dug in the side of the hill, and they had a curtain down over the doorway, and he pulled it back and we could go in there, and there was a rock officer in there. I don't know what rank he was, you couldn't tell. They didn't have bars like we did, they had circles or something, I don't know. And he's there with a map, and he can speak English pretty well. So he wanted to know what we're doing up there. We said, we're trying to get to the OP. He says, no. He said, OP's gone. He said, they're gone. I said, what do you mean? I said, are they dead? Or he said, I don't know. He said, they're just not there. So he said, but you can't go up there. He said, that's taken over, the hill was taken over by Chinese. So then we had to work ourselves back down that hill again. And we had some Katyushas with us, carrying the wire and supplies for the OP. Hell, they were long gone. When they started shelling, they were gone. So we got back down to the bottom of the hill, and we had a driver down there waiting on us to come back down. We got down there, hell, he was gone too. He just said, hell with them, they took out of there. So we're walking, and it was a pretty good distance back to the company, but it's the only way we could get there. And all of a sudden we hear this motor coming down the road. We go, oh God, here we go. So we jumped in a ditch, and then Cagle looked up and said, I think that's a Jeep. Sure enough, it was. And it was a couple of MPs in there. And we flagged them down, and they said, what the hell are you guys doing out here? We said, we don't know what the hell's going on. And he said, come on. He said, you guys jump in here. He said, who are you with? We said, the 461st. He said, they're gone. He said, they pulled out. Well, that wasn't quite true, because they put us in there, we went down, we got to the crossroad down there, and here come our Jeep, the combo Jeep, and the rest of it, they were headed back. So we flagged our Jeep down, and we jumped on there, and we went to a lot someplace down the road. And that's when, what the company came out, Harvey, Chester Harvey. He decided, we're gonna line up, we're gonna go back in, we're gonna take our positions back. We said, what the hell with? We don't have anything left. And so we stood there for a while, and all of a sudden, somebody put the order down. They said, nah. He said, they got the Air Force coming in, and they're gonna just napalm the place. And all of a sudden, we could hear the jets coming, and all of a sudden, you can see that ball of fire going up in the air. I said, good, they got all of them pictures.
Good for them.
But then we were out of there. We didn't have any equipment at all. And that's when we got in the convoy and went back to I don't know, Weejumbu or someplace. And they got to give us a package with all our personal stuff and, shaving stuff and all that. And got some clean clothes. And the next day, we loaded up, one packed up in front. Got some mortars, they sent some mortars up. We didn't have enough, but within a couple of days, they had enough mortars to make another platoon out of it. Oh, that was a 9.5 though, I'll tell you.
That must have been the 13th.
Yeah. That's when we got wrote up in the New York Herald. And I don't know how this guy got all this information unless somebody from the battalion told him, because I don't think he was with us, that I know of anyway, but I don't know. But I'll tell you, it was pretty good writing. I mean, it told the truth.